What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Jesus Coin at the request of Michael S. Man. Michael was recommending that I take a victory lap and I gloat a little bit about the price hitting the 7 zeros, but I want to be fair. First off, it's not my style to gloat. Like, if someone's talking trash, I will talk trash back, but nobody's really talking trash. There are people who disagreed that the price would go this low, and they've been, the whole way down, they've been saying that the price is going to go up any day now, and they were wrong. I've been wrong before. I was wrong yesterday. You want to know, or today even. You want to know how? Yesterday's video, or the day before, I forget when I made it, I was calling for the price to go back up here to like this blue line and then go down. And we didn't get that. We actually just crapped out literally today. So I was wrong. I was right, in the sense that I have been calling for this. So I thought I heard something. Price area for quite a while, but I wasn't expecting it to happen today by any means. Short term, yes, I was wrong. Long term, sure, I was right. But there were times over here where I was convinced that was the low and that we're getting ready to go higher, especially with this higher high here. But then, as we had this lower high come in and we moved down here, once we didn't get this positive reaction off the blue line, then I was a lot more confident that we would see prices down here. Where here in this kind of zone, I more identified it as like a possibility, but I was more assuming that we were going to continue upwards. This was really looking like a W pattern, but it never came to fruition. It never came to fruition. But here we are. Here we are now in the land of the 7 zeros, 7 zeros, 9 zeros, 6 6, looking like we want to go lower. Michael, you were asking what caused it, like what was the news or whatever. There's not a lot of volume, so I'm assuming that's what caused it, is there's not a lot of volume. Very thin order books equals very easy to manipulate the price, very easy to move it. And maybe there is manipulation, maybe there's just panic selling going on. I don't know. I saw Official Lee, you were talking about how the top 100 wallets haven't sold, and I don't remember if this was before or after the drop. I don't remember the time, but they haven't sold in like a month or something like that, and that's pretty cool. I haven't sold any of mine at all, man. I've bought and I've held, mainly because I didn't want to take the hit on taxes. I would have had to pay some taxes if I sold back in December when I was planning to. That was like half the reason why I didn't sell, but retrospectively should have done it. This number hasn't gone up too much, so I mean, really not a lot of selling going on. And again, we can see that in the volume, in the lack of volume here, right? It's not a lot of volume so far that's caused this move down. Like literally, not at all. Volume's decreasing as we're getting these bigger candles, but price does look weak. We've kind of hit the floor. This is what you get whenever you have like a flattened base like this, kind of been boring for a while. You get this dramatic move down. Could this be the base? Could we be forming it right now and getting ready to move up? Absolutely we could, guys. Absolutely we could. Let's look at this for what it is on a price perspective. From like this low coming in line with that low is like high and tight as we can. Something like that. Could we move all the way down here to 7063? Absolutely. We're pretty close now compared to where we've been. We're a lot closer now than we were a couple days ago, right? Could we from here pull back up to this zone and then continue to work our way down? Absolutely. So don't get thrown off. Don't feel the FOMO. Don't be swayed if we do, because this is very low volume that caused this move, right? Very, very low volume that caused this move. We could move up just as easily, right? And I'll remind you guys of a time, maybe before a lot of you actually invested in Jesus Coin, but back here throughout all this, man, I mean, you had a day and a half where you moved up 134%, and then you saw new lows, and then you moved up another 100%, and then you dropped for a long time. All along the way, having moments where you moved up 36%, where you moved up in a day 33%, so we're down 24% now. Could we move up 30% in the next day or two? Sure. Could we keep dropping? Sure. It's hard to say, right? Again, coming from the guy who, yes, I called that we would get into the land of the 7 zeros, right? You never know when it's going to happen, but I did call that. That's the most gloating I'm going to do. That's not really gloating. I'm not trying to gloat. I'm just more stating the facts, right? But also the same guy that 2 days ago or yesterday, I forget when I made my video, I was calling for it to go up a little bit and then go down. Still having these price targets in mind nonetheless, but yeah. Anyways, low to high. hit the 1272. Not you're just kind of in the middle of nowhere right now, so I would think you go lower. Let's see. I really like this area. I know there's a couple of you that were asking if it's a good time to buy now. Sure. I mean, it dumped 20% today, 24% as of right now. It dumped a lot. Will it go lower? I think so. Could it pump from here 30% and still go lower? Absolutely. We just went over that, right? It had 118% pump and still went down lower previously. I mean, look at this. We had 114% pump here and then, moving down. Absolutely, I think it's going to go lower. Will it be today? Will it be tomorrow? It could be, but probably it's going to take time. Probably, right? This kind of stuff, man. I mean, I don't know. I'm a conspiracy theorist at heart, man, but like this to me, it just feels like it's like orchestrated. Like I do think there are people who more or less know what they're doing, and they see these thin order books and they're like, you know what, let's just drop it a little bit. Let's take this price down a notch and see if we can find some more liquidity to buy. Yeah, none of these top wallets have sold any, man, and if anything, actually, they've accumulated some recently. But yeah, there's probably people. It doesn't look like, to me, it doesn't look like anybody's panic selling. There's not a lot of volume. The Uniswap wallet hasn't been added to really. Nobody's really panic selling. So I mean, some of us might just be patient and waiting this out, right? We know what's going to happen in a few months from now, or even less than that. Some of us might be like deers caught in the headlights and you're just frozen. You look at this, you don't even want to look at it, you're frozen, and maybe it goes a little bit lower and you make the bad decision of selling. Not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, but it would be a very horrible decision. Let's just back it out here. Let's look at it for what it is. If you bought Jesus coin here, or here, or here, you don't sell it here. You should have sold it up here. And if you bought it up here, I bought up here too, man. It's okay. I bought down here. I bought down here a bunch of times down here. I bought down here, and then I bought very near the top for my last purchase. I haven't made a purchase since. And what I'm excited about is we're finally in the area where anybody who has been interested in Jesus Coin since here, it's getting to be that green light for buying time again. Absolutely it is. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but absolutely it is. We're at a massive discount, but I do think we have lower to go. Top to bottom, as of right now, we're at 84% of a drop. I've been saying now for a few weeks that it's very common for things like this, low cap coins, especially coins that run up, what was that, like a 30x? I'm sorry, 61, almost a 62x in a very short amount of time, in like just a couple months. It's very common for stuff like that to pull back 90% when they do see corrections, at least 90%. That's like it's like a rule in crypto, man. It's something I've seen time and time and time again. And if we put this on a low, like the relative low to the relative high, that 90% area is just above your golden ratio, your 618. So it's really not that crazy that we could drop all the way to 7045. We're at twice that price right now. Is it a good time to buy? Relatively speaking from the high, sure. Will it go lower? I think so. And getting back to the question, someone was asking earlier, a couple of people actually were asking where they think that they should, where I think they should buy. And I, in response to that, I'm not a financial advisor. I like to answer it like this. You buy wherever you want to buy, but I am personally going to buy once we're at this line. I think this line will provide a lot of support. It's previous area of support, previous area of resistance. Could we go below it? Sure. We could go all the way down to what I was talking about, the 618, all the way down there at 4.5s, 7.0s, 4.5. We could. I'm not going to buy everything. I'm not going to unload the truck here. But just like these circles, I might put a small circle of buys here and a large circle of buys down here, something like that, right? Anything really from this point and lower, here's kind of the zone that I'm anticipating, is like this zone here. Not using fibs, just looking at it for a price action perspective. That's the area that I think is going to be prime time to buy. We're very close. We're very close. And if you're not patient enough to wait, that's okay, right? If you aren't patient and you want to just get in, go for it. But definitely don't buy it if it comes back up here. Definitely don't do that, right? Like I very much believe, even if we went higher, right, it's still a lower high on a macro scale. Even if we went back above this little area here, I very much believe we're going to go lower, right? I just, that's, yeah, it makes sense to me. I don't really know if I have anything else I want to say, man. Daily RSI looks very sad. Very, very, very sad. Showing some of the weakness that you've seen so far, and that makes sense. You're getting a very big day to the downside that we haven't seen in a while. Weekly RSI is getting down there, man. And I mean, just truthfully, I would stick with that 90% rule. You want to know where I think it's going ultimately? That doesn't mean that's where I'm going to buy it, because where I think it's going is, I very rarely buy where I think it's going. I normally buy above where I think it's going, because I can be wrong, and I'd rather get in a project than sit it out, you know. But if you draw from top, you measure from the top to where it says 90%, at a minimum, that's where I think it's going. At a minimum. And that's very close to the 618, which is again at 7045. So it wouldn't be crazy if it went down 92%. Which from here, even though we've dropped 84% already, that's still another 50% drop. Negative math is so weird, man. But that's my thoughts, guys. You know, a lot of you have been saying good things about the about the Christmas burn idea. Some of you think it's silly, and that's okay. You know. I definitely don't expect everybody to get behind it, but I would like to try and work on getting this to become kind of a more legitimate thing, and seeing if we can spin the wheels and take like a poll or something like that and see how many people would actually be interested in participating in a second Christmas burn. Again, for those of you who are new to this idea and you haven't heard about this, when I say participating, I very much mean participating. There's no more burns scheduled. It's not written in the code. There's no locked events that are coming up as far as that goes. It's on us. It's on us. What I mean by that is we would have to burn our own tokens, and the amount that I'm thinking that would be ideal would be 1% of every wallet who wants to participate. It's like a good faith burn, man. You know, to help generate hype, get attention around the coin, diminish the supply, thus adding to the scarcity and upping the value potentially. Whatever money you lose in your 1% that you burn, you will gain in the gains from the hype and from everything else. But the idea is we would send 1% of the coins that we hold to the pink wallet address, to this wallet address here, right, the pink lock, and add to this grand number here. And being that, you know, we only have like 156, I think it's 156 trillion, 1% of that would be like 1.5 trillion. It's not going to add a lot to this, right? It's really not going to add a lot. But maybe we can make this number an 80%, something like that, right? Maybe we could just bump it up a little bit. And the main reason behind it, again, it is to diminish the supply a little bit, but really what it is maybe to gain some attraction, get some hype back in it. You know, there's all kinds of things to be hyped up for Jesus besides the burn, but I really do, you know, this was probably due to the Christmas Day burn, right? This week was Christmas week. We literally dumped. We didn't even go up. This was the beginning. The beginning of this week was Christmas Day, and we dumped that day. To say that we didn't move up because the Christmas burn, you know, there might be other reasons too. It's Jesus coin for one, but for two, you know, I really do think that the Christmas burn it was a real thing. So, man, I'm stumbling on my words. It's the end of the day for me. I'm tired. What I'm trying to say, case in point, is I think it would bring a lot of attention, just as it did before, even if it wasn't as big of a burn. Because, you know, buy the hype, sell the news events are just a thing. It doesn't have to be super significant for it to have significant effects on the price. I'm not talking about a pump and dump. I'm just talking about a coordinated event around the coin, Jesus coin. That's it. And maybe it could become a tradition, man, where maybe not everybody, you know, not everybody has to do it. There's going to be new people who invest in Jesus coin that never agreed to take part of this, but maybe it becomes something that catches on. You know, just like on I forget what day it is, but there's a day, it's probably coming up, where it's like not your keys, not your Bitcoin day, where everybody decides to move their Bitcoins, their cryptos off the exchanges. I forget what day that is, what they call that. Maybe I missed it already. I forget. Man, I've been in crypto too long. I should know this. Not long enough, apparently. But I'm gonna have to ask my friend. He probably would know. I gotta ask my buddy. He's been in crypto for a while too. but it could be a tradition. It could be a tradition. That's all I'm trying to say. I don't know, man. I'm just blabbering on at this point. So with that, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more. I definitely plan on getting this, trying to take this a little bit of a step further as far as like the Christmas burn goes, but I'm going to need to talk to some people. So if anybody wants to talk to me about it, feel free to, man. I'm an open book. I don't care. And if nobody wants to do it, I'll be like, hey guys, I brought this to the table of people that have a bigger outreach in the community than I do, and they hated it, so I tried and I got shot down, and that's okay. There are a lot of ideas out there that you like us as individuals we might think are good, and then you bring it to like other people and they're like, that's not a good idea, and then it just gets shot down. It's nothing personal, it's just how it is. But I don't know. I'm all about burning my tokens, man. Just 1% to bring some hype back into the markets, especially around Christmas Day. That's it, man. I'm done yapping. I'll see you guys on the next one. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more. Take care. Bye-bye.